Good morning, still. We'll reconvene our full Board of Control meeting. First item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance by Representative David.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The next item of business is our reflection from Jim Dimmer. Jim?
Thanks. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. I'm going to talk about opportunity today. And some of you don't know me. I'm from Northern Kentucky, born and raised. I went to Dixie Heights High School and then on to Northern Kentucky University. Played high school baseball. That was the only sport. Obviously 5-0, 100-0. Just did what I could. Walked on at NKU and played 4 years there. But just a tremendous opportunity for me. Wanted to become a teacher and a coach. Good news for me in the early 90s there, the new high school was being built in our area. So I applied for a job and Randy Cooper was the principal, the new principal coming in at Raleigh High School. And he gave me an opportunity as a young kid at 22 years old to be a teacher and eventually as an athletic director. So he's the Cooper namesake, which was built in the same county, 2 miles down the road. So again, just opportunities. I know everybody in this room was given an opportunity by somebody, early in your career, that you remember that they took a chance on you to start your career, et cetera, and you'll never forget that. You'll always cherish that opportunity, that first opportunity. And I try to, as an athletic director, athletic administrator, to do that same thing, to take a chance on somebody, and you want to see them succeed. And one of the examples at Ryle, I know about 10 or 15 years ago, retired a girls basketball coach named Katie Heights, and Katie, actually, she was our second choice, and thank God, the first choice kind of fell through. It didn't work out. Didn't have one of the qualifications. But Katie gave her a chance, and she won a state championship. And back in 2019, has become one of the best coaches here in the state, and really big impact for our kids there at Ryle when I was at Ryle. So just giving people opportunities and giving people chances. And still to this day, obviously, still getting a chance. I retired from the system. I was at Ryle for 27 years, AD for 18. Randy Cooper gave me the shot to be AD at a really early, a young age, at age 30, and took a chance on me. And then stayed at Ryle for 27 years, coached baseball for 27 years. Funny story, he said, Jim, he said, when I was interviewing for the job, I need a psychology teacher, but I also need a soccer coach. And back in those days, and correct me if I'm wrong, JT, you had to be a certified teacher to be a varsity head coach. So, I'm 22 years old. I'll do it. I just wanted to get in there and do it. It was a great, I really enjoyed my time as girls soccer coach at Ryle. Did that through the 90s, 9 years. It was awesome. Still to this day, I am Facebook friends with a lot of these players and so forth. But yeah, you just never lose sight of the opportunities that you get along the way. And I'm still getting opportunities. Obviously, I retired at Boone County Schools, went to Bill and Madonna Academy, and if I didn't get that job at Villa, and they took a chance on me there as a retired older guy, I wouldn't be here with you today. So I got because I was at Villa, I was able to get the Board of Control position, and I get to be with great people down here making decisions for the betterment of student athletes in the state of Kentucky. And it's been a great experience. Just fortunate to be in this position. Now I'm at St. Henry and still having opportunities there. We're going to start a football program. It's really exciting around the school. We're going to play JV football next year, and then varsity football in 25. So just, you never lose track of those opportunities that people give you. And when you're in that position to give others opportunities and see them be successful, that's what it's all about. So thank you for letting reflect on that and I appreciate it. That's it.
Thank you, Jim. The first item of business that requires a motion is, if you look at items 8.1.1 all the way through 8.1.11, the recommendations to accept the reports and approve the necessary action or approve those reports. Do I have a motion on the floor for that? Motion by Marty. I have a second. Second by Claudette. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving those reports, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. The next item of business is the recommendation is to accept the reports all the way up through 8.2.6. And that's reports of all our membership meetings. I need a motion to accept those reports and approve the necessary action. Motion made by Joe, seconded by Angela. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 8.3.6, the recommendation is to accept that report and approve the necessary action as presented in our committee meeting. I need a motion on the floor to accept that. Motion by Randy. Do I have a second? Second by Damon. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously as well. The next item of business is 8.4.4, and that was the approval of championship and competition reminders and reports. The recommendation is to accept those reports and approve the necessary action. Do I have a motion on the floor to do that? Motion by Gavin. Do I have a second? Second by Brian. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously as well. Item 8.5.3 is the approval of the general reports. The recommendation is to accept those general reports and approve the necessary action going forward with that. Do I have a motion on the floor? Motion from Greg. Do I have a second? Second by Angela. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. That motion passes unanimously. 8.6.2 is accept the items of review for future meeting. The recommendation is accept that report and approve the necessary action. Do I have a motion on the floor? Motion by Angela. I have a second. A second from Greg. I'm sorry. You guys are a little bashful. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. Item 8.7.1, the status and timetable for indoor track and field. The recommendation is to accept that report and approve the necessary action. Do I have a message for that? My motion for that? Motion by Larry, second by Joe. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously as well. Item 8.7.2 is to adjust the swimming and diving starting dates to 11/16 due to facility considerations. The recommendation is to accept the report and approve the necessary action to start the swimming and diving season allowance with bylaw 23 on the Monday of corresponding week 19, which is November the 6th. Do I have a motion on the floor? Motion by Randy, second by Marty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item 8.7.3, the first round of state swimming implementation plan. Recommendation is accept the report and approve the necessary action. Do I have a motion for that? Motion by Gavin. Do I have a second? Made a second down there. Mike. Motion made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously as well. Item 8.7.4 is a review of the wrestling survey to be distributed. The recommendation from our work session was to accept that report and ask for the complete report of survey results following the report submission, as well as directing any necessary implementation steps. Do I have a motion on the floor? Motion made by Claudette, seconded by Russ. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed, like sign. That motion carries unanimously. The final motion, 8.7.5, review the possible member school referendum or multiple referendum bylaw on bylaw 9. We discussed that in great detail. The recommendation is to accept the report and direct a referendum to be distributed following section 1A from the bylaw and determine Board of Control next steps following the balloting. Is there, I have a motion from Angela, second from Matt. Is there any discussion at all?
Ms. Thompson recused.
With no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. That motion passed unanimously with one reclusion. Mr. Thompson. We've always done for the good of the order at some point in time throughout my tenure here on the board, and we kind of got away from it some and went back to it some. With so many new members, I think we probably should do that today. And if you'd like, I'd like to let you start, Greg, and maybe start us around. And
Good reflection. I think you brought up, we all have stories to tell and where we got started and people giving us the opportunity. It's good to hear that. It's good. It's good to be back with everybody. I always want to say, and I know we have a good time with the staff. I say this 1,000 times. It's so much easier in an AD's world, just to clarify, to pick up the phone, and you guys do, and you never say, hey, I don't have time for you.
Even when you FaceTime us last.
We're not gonna get any clarification.
Or the calendar invite.
Yeah, and if you got an email notification from me, I did not send that. I have no idea. I got some from other, anyway. It's great just to be back together again. Appreciate the staff and, really love being a part of this organization.
Thank you, Jimmy, for the reflection. I know he's being a little bit modest, but I don't know, he's still pitching. He's 67 years old, 66 years old, something like that. But he's still out there throwing left-handed changeups, getting people out. So don't let him fool you. This guy can get people out. So he's being modest. So I appreciate everybody. Again, feel real comfortable and real good what we did today. Some of the changes and some of what the discussions about. The bottom line is we're doing this for the kids, and I think we made some good decisions today, and appreciate all you guys are doing.
Yeah, just great to be back, starting a new school year, always exciting. To the staff, you guys did an awesome job. I went to the obviously our regional meeting and the advanced workshop, and just those are just so helpful. You guys do a great job. I know there's a lot of turnover around the state with ADs and so forth, but just the time that you spend doing that, and it's just very well appreciated that you go around the state and spend the time to do that. But, obviously, just with a veteran AD, it really helps. I can't imagine the first and second, third year ADs how helpful that is for you guys to get out there and do those things. So thank you very much for that.
To the staff, I've been doing this a year and a half now, and I feel like I'm finally getting my feet underneath of me a little bit. And that's because of you all. I've had to communicate with some of you all over the past, Mr. Bill Berry, quite a bit here. You know, I spent some time on the phone together, and it's helped make that transition to where I feel like I'm kind of getting stabilized now. But everybody in the room, I know that, you know, you show up and do it every day for kids, and just know that's the right way to go about it. And just glad to be a part of it. Really cool to. I look forward to these meetings. I was a little nervous at first, but I look forward to it. So, thank you.
because he's nervous at first. I'm still in first, so I was very nervous. Even on the way this morning, I was worried that I got the location wrong, I'm gonna be honest. So when I pulled up and saw cars in the parking lot, I was very thankful. But I appreciate how welcoming and helpful everybody's been. I am one of the newest faces at the table, but I'm very happy to have a seat at the table. And I appreciate the discussion and the effort and time and love that everybody pours into the kids across the state. So thank you so much.
Just want to make sure, everybody, when you get that opportunity, say a little prayer for our students and our coaches. We had a little incident last night, the young man had to be airlifted to Nashville soccer, in our community, in Callaway, and, you know, those kind of times, everybody holds their breath, you know, and that's probably the worst part of being a fan, which I broadcast some and that kind of thing. But just pray for the safety of our kids and the leadership of our coaches and those medical folks and trainers that are taking care of our kids oftentimes that are so valuable. I think it's important for us to always keep that.
I feel like most of us end up saying the same stuff when we do this, but I can tell you in my new role, over the past month, I think I've contacted almost everybody at the staff at some point with questions, and they've all been extremely helpful. So I knew that would be the case, but it's good to know that when you reach out that you can get the answers that you need quickly or put us in contact with who we need to be in contact with.
Just want to say thank you to everybody sitting around the table. Everyone shows up every day for the same common goal, which is our kids. And so thank you all for the work that you did and for everything that we don't know that all of you do too, because anytime you're in education, there are things that you'll do every single day that you don't even think about, but that it makes a difference. So thank you.
Thank you to everybody, the staff, even those that root for the Cardinals. I still appreciate everyone. But also, you guys do such great work. I make examples in my classes all the time of the cool things that our staff is doing when we host these events. So with a lot of our sports management classes, I get to use the real world examples of all the things that you guys are doing. And it's kind of cool to get to see behind the scenes how you guys run these events. So it's been very helpful in a lot of ways for me to learn, especially with what I do and what I teach. So I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for all your support. I know we'll see most of you again tomorrow, but then we look forward to seeing you at the championships that are just a few weeks away. Thank you.
Good to see everybody, and Mr. Dimler, if you want another opportunity, we can get you a job working under the arch. See if you can still throw it. Good to see you.
Probably could have used him this year. Good to see everyone. Thank you for your support. Hope we can make it out to some ball championships. I think Sarah sent a notice out about golf, so if you need a room down there, just let me know.
Mr. Dim, I want to thank you for your reflection, and I just want to add something to what Mr. Lloyd had said about the modesty. I mean, there's a reason why you've been given ample and several opportunities over the course of your tenure since I've been here at Ryle and Bill and Don at St. Henry. I mean, the ultimate professional, always courteous on the phone. I've been really doing business with you. I can't tell you how much. You know, we talk about those difficult transfers and those difficult appeals, and he does in a professional manner, which isn't always the case sometimes when people get their emotions involved. But I just want to say that, you know, just the professionalism and the courtesy that you've always extended to the folks in this office, I really do appreciate.
I really enjoy hearing you guys discuss what is important to you. That you clearly all have a passion, and I thank you for that. I also thank you for the opportunity to be a part.
Thanks to Mr. Dimler and the entire board. Grateful for another opportunity at a championship season.
Come on.
Bro.
Speech.
No speech, but do have my first child on the way as well.
All right.
What about the timing, right?
Yeah, you might see it happen all at Rep Arena too.
I spell my name with 2 R's and 2 L's.
Is that the invoice that you're permission for the invoice he's gonna send you?
All right, great reflection, Jim. And am I the only one that thinks he's 20 years younger than his age? Is that right? 60 something? Connor and I were like, what?
I thought that was a joke.
What is it? Okay, all right, moving on.
Mr.
Anyway, it's great seeing everybody as usual, and I look forward to seeing you all at the championships.
Yeah, just a good opportunity to be with you guys again and hear, you know, across the state, what's happening with athletics, and that there are so many in this room that care, wanting to keep things pure and keep moving in the right direction and giving opportunities. Thank you for your reflection, and thank you guys for all the work you do.
Yeah, I want to echo Jim, great speech. I don't think he's as old as you think he is, Rob. One of the things I like the most about this group is I get to hear the perspectives of people that hold different positions. You know, sometimes I think I'm a frontline person at the AD world, but I like to hear what principals and superintendents and people of other places, I want to hear what they have to say so that I can look at it in their eyes. I made a note, and I truly believe it, and we probably say this every year, that sports is more important than ever. Like, it's more important than ever. There's no doubt about it. And if you haven't noticed, guess what? This year's senior class is the class that was in COVID. I had to talk with one of my student aides yesterday, and we were talking about hey, did you get off to a good start your freshman year? And after about 2 minutes of conversation, he finally looked at me and goes, I was not in the building our freshman year. So this year's senior class is the class that was in NTI. And then the power of athletics over the kids, I've already had to put in a headlock and take down to after school study hall and sit and talk about, do you want to play next week? And if you do, this is the things you're gonna have to do in class. And they're super motivated all of a sudden because of the athletic piece that we can put over top of them.
I mean, I'm just thankful for the relationships that I'm able to build with this group. I mean, just in the past few weeks, just being able to pick up the phone and just call certain people, just about questions. Like I called Joe, you know, and he didn't hesitate to call me back or pick up the phone. And it was something with education, so it wasn't even sports related, or just being able to talk to Angela on the phone, Greg, just like I said, just being able to pick up the phone and call people, you know, just to kind of lean on them when you have questions or issues. So thankful for that.
I'm gonna piggyback what Mandy said, being the new kid on the block isn't always easy, so I appreciate how welcoming everyone's been, just trying to learn and listen and take everything in. Tara has been extremely helpful. I feel like I have her on speed dial, so just thank you, and I look forward to working with everyone.
Just thankful for having the opportunity to serve, thankful to all the staff and the fact that, you know, not everywhere across our state, the state institutions you call and they either answer the phone or at least get back to you very quickly. And I won't say anything further than that, but I appreciate you guys and everything you do and answering all of our questions. And I know you guys are very busy and I'm just one of many, but do appreciate that, as well as the commissioner and his responses as well. But just made some relationships here that I'll have for a lifetime, and it's been a great opportunity, and I just appreciate it.
Thankful for the staff, going across the state and talking to our athletic directors, a new appreciation. I feel like after 4 regional meetings, I could probably speak for you. And so thankful for what you all do for that. And then obviously just us in this room with all the different jobs that we do, but every time we leave, it just reassures me that we're all focused on the big picture of athletics and how positive of an experience it can be for our kids. So appreciate it.
I'll piggyback off that because I think this time of the year that all of us, no matter what position we are, including the staff here, we do face a lot of criticism, and that feels like that they're louder than the ones that are talking about positives that we're doing. But I just want to say that everybody in this room, I feel like is doing a fantastic job. I greatly appreciate the staff and the other board members for their communication and the experiences and the point of views that they bring to the table. It's well respected, and I think everyone in here's heart's in the right place, and I think that's great. I do want to give a shout out to Butch and Sarah for what the work they did with the Student Leadership Conference. I was again blown away, amazed, and the impact it had on those kids, and even some of the kids from our district. It was amazing. So thank you all. Great job, and I appreciate all the staff.
want to piggyback on what Dave said and just always enjoy coming and hearing everybody's perspective. Sometimes we get caught in our little tunnel, and this group always makes sure that we all see the entire picture for the entire state and all size of schools and all the differences between us. But it also shows how we are so similar at the same time. So just want to thank you all for always being open to everyone and hearing everybody's perspective, including mine.
Going towards the end of this stinks, 'cause everything's been said.
This side of the room is different than that's. Well, that's what Angela just said, you know, being able to see the whole picture. Sometimes it's difficult when we get back to our normal places, to say, you know, what's best for our school or our area. That's not what this board's about. It's about the whole picture and understanding and decisions and how decisions are made. Sometimes they're not easy decisions, and when you go back and have to discuss those things with other people, they might not understand why. They don't see them or want to see. So again, thank all you guys for what you do every day, and look forward to the next meeting.
Being a very non-opinionated guy. It is kind of, when you talk about modesty, and you look around the room at the staff here, I don't think they ever realize just how modest they are. Most of you guys and gals have forgot more about high school athletics than we'll ever pick up. And when I come on this board 7 years ago, I had a complete different opinion of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association Board of Control. But boy, have I realized just how valuable that the 18 people in this room are to the 284 member schools in this state. How valuable this staff and this commissioner is. How important having things like Jim present to us and talk about his experiences. You know, we can disagree in here, and we all have at some point in time not seen each other eye to eye. But when it's time when we go sit down and eat lunch together, or we go sit down and eat dinner together, it's all about personal relationships at that point in time. And as I leave the board this year, it's pretty special. Thank you.
Thank you guys for what you all do, and I'm sure I'll be sending out some fall championships information soon. So
At least know who's will be last. Couple of quick details. First of all, I think most of you probably saw on social media the proud graduate of Pineville High School who led the organization for 16 years, passed away last week. Tom had lived a long life in his 90s, and Mr. Mills was foundational in so many things early on, particularly as the CEO at the time we expanded into Title IX. Never really probably got enough credit for that because he was fighting that federal court order. That got all the publicity. But Mr. Mills was a life well lived. And then some of you know, Bridget last night received induction into the Kentucky Athletic Hall of Fame, which is one based around Freedom Hall, for her work in early years of Title IX, and a little bit for her work here, but it's really about what she did early on in Title IX. And we were proud of her. Several of us went up to that ceremony, and it was nice to see, you know, some recognition come along for her, because she was. I said in an interview that much like the country song says, I was country when country wasn't cool. I mean, she was doing Title IX when Title IX wasn't a cool thing to do. And those kind of people get forgotten by the young generation who thinks everything that's ever happened after Twitter was invented. So, you know, there's people that paved the way. So we're glad she got recognized. And I publicly want to thank Frank. We argue like, I tell him all the time, we argue like brothers. But because we've been working together long enough to be brothers. But Frank's been our developer for a while. He writes all our custom stuff, the school system he's developed. And he's here, and I know he and Rob will bash heads, and Frank and I'll bash heads, and Rob and I'll bash heads. That's just the way it kind of goes. But we it's been very well. And I think when I went to Section 3 last week, what we've got going on both on our score side, on our data side, and on our school side is the envy of everybody Southwest. Some of which are in their fourth vendor in 5 years. And we got the same guy. So we're very pleased. We will get those event notices out to you. Golf will be here yesterday, it seems like. So it really is coming upon us, and by the time we see each other again, we will have had several other events and several more foundational plans for other things. And Bill, although sometimes you and I worry the bark off each other's tree, we appreciate all you do for swimming. You really are, we've got those people in a lot of different sports, and I'm telling you, it is blinded by his own love for kids sometimes. So that's a good thing to have. So thanks for being here. And thank you all for all you do every day, and keep the texts and calls coming. I know you will.
Hope we get to see everybody tomorrow. Thank you guys and gals for being here today. Start time in the morning, 8 o'clock registration.
It's 8 o'clock registration, 8:30 first session. Correct. And 11:30 is the business meeting. That's when everybody will be.
So hope to see everybody tomorrow, and if there's nothing further, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Has to be somebody before.
Seeing none, this meeting is now adjourned.